As you can see, we're now happily at home with our loving animals. However, the process to bring them to Japan was very tedious. So for today's video, we're going to tell you what the whole process was like, just in case you plan on moving to another country with your pets.
Turns out Japan is a rabies-free country.
Correct.
Now, our pets are actually both from Korea. This means it was easy to travel to places like Canada and America because these are not rabies-free countries.
So we were planning on moving to Japan in January, and we figured that when we flew with Spudgy back to Canada, we usually needed 1 month or so to get everything set. So we thought that with Spudgy and Meemers, we would give them 3 months just to be safe. 3 months was not enough time at all.
Man. So we started their paperwork in Korea in September. And that means the basic things that they had to have was microchipping, which they already
had done beforehand.
And they have to be rabies-free, which they already were well rabies-free. So we were like...
Rabies-free?
Rabies-free.
So do we have to ask who we rabbits we're bringing with us?
You can be rabies-free, but you should also be rabies-free. Is your pet rabies-free? Check today. But then they needed their rabies antibodies test. Well, turns out because we're in Korea, Japan doesn't recognize Korea's vets or laboratories as being unofficial. I don't even know what.
We had to get the test results sent to Belgium, analyzed, and then sent back to us in Korea. So the scary part was to see if they would pass the test, because it would take 1 month for the test to be completed in Belgium. When that 1 month passed, if they didn't have enough antibodies in their system, we would have to do the test again and wait another month for the test to come back from Belgium. Fortunately, both of them passed on the first test. No problem. Now comes the bigger problem. After that test, you have to wait 180 days. I'm sure there is some medical scientific reason for it, but nobody explained this to us. All that we were told is that we have to wait an extra 180 days, which would be well past the January that we planned on moving.
I was pretty sad.
It actually wound up being...
I cried a lot.
But it kind of made sense considering when we moved to Japan, we didn't actually have a house. We had to find a house, we had to move into it, we had to bring our stuff, we had to get all of our paperwork. So when we had all of our house settled, then a couple weeks later, Spudgy and Meemers were finally able to come.
It definitely makes sense if you're coming here and you don't have a house set up yet.
Right.
If you're coming here, like maybe if you're moving with the military, and so you know that you'll be moving from one place to another, then just start your paperwork like 6 months in advance. You just need to get it started.
Just start it 8 months in advance.
Right
just
now.
to be, you know what? Even if your animal isn't born yet, just start the paperwork right now.
Okay, here's another important step. 40 days before your animals arrive in Japan, you have to report to the port that you're arriving in, so that would be either Narita or Haneda, that your pets are coming. Your vet has to prepare some paperwork for you, and then they will send it to the actual airport with the exact day that you're arriving.
Yes.
That means you can't screw up your flight.
No.
In any way.
You have to book your flight in advance. You have to tell them exactly what flight you're going to be on, what time you're going to land. You have to have the proper names and all the documents of your animals ready 40 days in advance. So now to the airport. You have to make sure you arrive with your animals 3 hours in advance, because you have to bring them to the quarantine office there at the airport, which they will make specific documents for you to fly with.
And so that takes a little bit of time. Luckily, we were the first people in line, and you have to pay cash as well, right?
So for us, it was $10 for each animal, $20 cash we had to pay to get this paperwork done. Now here's the issue that wound up happening with us. We called the airline way in advance as soon as we bought our tickets, and we said that we are going to be bringing 2 animals with us. So Martina was going to bring one, and I was going to bring one, and everything was confirmed. After I made that call, I have to call again 48 hours after that just to confirm, which we did. That was all set.
Oh, buddy, my leg is totally asleep because of your butt. Leg asleep. Interrupting this important conversation, or my leg is asleep. Ducky.
What do you want me to do?
Slap my leg. Ow, ow, gentler.
Oh, gentle slap.
It's so asleep.
Gentle slap.
Wow. Now, what happened with us was they confirmed Spudgy and Meemers to be in the cabin.
Yeah.
But then when we got to the actual front desk, the woman's like, you can only have 1 animal per cabin.
1 in first class, 1 in business class, and 1 in economy.
Well, what are we supposed to do? Like, we obviously didn't make this mistake.
We already confirmed with you over the phone. It's not my fault that you wound up messing this up. I can't not fly with the animals because I have this 12-hour window. I can't miss this flight.
Exactly. I said, is anyone else flying with pets on the plane? She said no.
Nope.
Business class and first class full? She said no.
Nope.
So then they could just upgrade one of us and solve the problem, since
But
it's their
why
mistake.
upgrade? plane. What it said is that they had to call their main headquarters to get special permission, and it took them like a good hour to do so that both of our animals could fly side by side in the exact same cabin.
It took so long, and they were very apologetic, and she knew that something had messed up on their side, but it took so long that we were legitimately about to miss our flight. They had to give us those express pass tickets to make us go through special security that you can go through that's like the mega fast security.
So they gave us tickets to go through that. And here's where the next fun part happens. When you clear through security, you have to go through the x-ray machine. And we had to put the animal crates through the x-ray scanner. We can't put the animals in there as well through the scanner. We thought we could just walk through with the crates. But no, we have to take out the Spudgy, put his crate through, walk through, and then put him back in the crate.
But then they get to me, and the guy says to me, please remove your animal. And I said, oh, it's a cat.
It's a cat. No.
He's already freaked out at the airport. We're in the lineup with all the little kids. The kids are screaming. There's I said, there's no way he can go through.
His eyes are wide open like this. Meemers is terrified.
Yeah, and then the guy just says, please take your animal from the case.
Your funeral. Okay. All right, buddy, let's do it.
All I could imagine was Meemers being like, I'm under attack. And then just like running through the airport and me being like, Meemers, and being tackled by the police and then tasing me in the butt. And then they're like,
we have to shut down the airport. There's been a cat disease.
I also have to say, and this is honest, Korea's getting better with animals and pet culture, but they're really not in tune with pet culture. Like in North America,
they don't have that like bond, that spiritual bond that Spudgy and I have. Yes, I know it's so important.
That's not what I mean.
You used to smell good. Let's put you back down, ugly one.
In Canada and America, people understand that cats are freaked out easily. Like they would try to claw someone's face off. Couldn't I just walk through with a cloth bag? And then afterwards they could wand him down.
Like give me a towel that I could wrap him up, kind of like when you gotta trim their nails.
Anyways.
So Martina just...
I looked at Simon, and Simon and I are like, okay, I'm like, get ready for it. So I unzip his bag, and Meemers does like the backup where he's like, no. And I'm like grabbing him by the face and trying to drag him out.
And all of his skin fluffs up. It looks like he was wearing Spanx because everything was tight on his legs and all just like curling and oozing out through the top.
Oh, little buddy was trying to fit into his dress. And I'm holding him, and I'm holding him, like petting him gently, and I'm ready to like scruff him by the neck because I have to. So I walk through security. Everything's fine. He's got his big eyes open. He's being a really good boy. And I was like, oh my God, we made it through okay. And then I look over and his crate still isn't through yet. And I'm like, then the girl comes over. Oh, I need to like wave you down with the wand. And I'm like, no. As soon as she does that, Meemers goes like this.
No, I'm bored, let me free. No.
Holy shit, Simon, get the crate. Anyways, we made it through after that, and we head over to our gate right away, and the plane was like already boarding, so we just made it in.
And now comes the saddest part of our story. We got into our cabin just fine, and Spudgy and Meemers were underneath the seat in front of us, but right before takeoff, the stewardesses came up to us and they're like, you have to put your animals in the closet during like takeoff and landing. So they actually put Spudgy and Meemers in the closet where they have like their jackets and whatnot. And Meemers was totally okay with it.
Meemers fell asleep.
He's like, oh yeah, dark closet, I'm happy. But Spudgy was terrified because he's smelling us, he's with us, and then all of a sudden it's pure black and he's trapped in the crate and everything is shaking and we hear him whimpering and it breaks our heart into a million sad pieces.
And you could hear it over the roaring, and I was just like sitting on the edge of my seat, like I was ready to like tear. Ducky, stop it, you're bringing me back and it's too sad, stop it. And it got even sadder than that. Okay,
that was the sound for the whole landing and I wanted to sob. And I was just waiting there for the seatbelt sign to go off, but fortunately, the stewardess also had her heart broken by this misery.
She was right beside him.
So she wanted to bring Spudgy to us before the seatbelt sign went off so we could put him.
He was calm the whole time, but now he's like this. So now that we've arrived at the airport in Japan, it's time for the final stages.
So when we brought our papers and our animals to the quarantine office, they literally put down 2 copies of each and went over every letter of everything.
They read the letters of their microchips, the
numbers of the microchip to us. This is the number on this paper. Is it the same as this one? We literally read this paper out loud with this woman for half an hour. And this is actually important because there was a small issue with the paper before we wound up flying out, in which the vet wound up writing down my name, Simon Stawoski, with an O after the W.
Kind of like the Korean pronunciation.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. But then I said, no, it's actually Stosky, but I don't think it's that big of an issue. And he says, you are flying to Japan, this is an issue. So we had to like expedite a parcel to like Belgium to wind up getting it reprinted and sent back here. It was a big issue because they go over every letter.
After she went over everything, she took Spudgy and Meemers into the inspection booth area.
So it was just me with Spudgy at the time, and she looked at him and she's like, is he okay? I said, no, he's fine. He's just old and ugly, and that's how he really is. What was great about this is that as soon as we finished the paperwork with her, she wound up escorting us out of the gate so that we brought the papers to the customs officers.
Handed it over.
She was there with us, and everything was smooth and seamless, and we finally got our animals into Japan.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, you boy, you're finally with us in Japan. I love you so much. I was so sad when you were gone.
So we're gonna talk more about flying with animals in our blog post, including the actual breakdown of what you have to do for Japan. Boom, boom, Spudgy. Give me a high five. Yeah! How about a fist pump? We didn't do the explosion. There you go. I'm gonna talk about this nifty new container that I got for Spudster. You see this? It like
Meemers when I'm taking it. By the way, thanks for bringing that out for this video and just pointing to it now because it actually stunk up the entire living room.
Yeah, it smells like Spudgy didn't pee. He had his water bowl dumped on him in the airplane, and then he just soaked in it, like stewed in it, like a fine French stew, a fine Korean dog stew. Oh,
bad reference.
So bad.
You're so old and scrudgy. How are you still alive?
You want to sing an old song? Ready?
We're gonna do Tiara roly poly. Ready? Wait.
Good job, buddy. What else can you do?